It seems that AEW has been in the news as of late. Sometimes not by its own admission, but otherwise, yes, by its own admission. First of all, the news of its own admission is basically the frustration level, I guess, behind the scenes at AEW and how kind of chaotic and stuff that it is. I mean, when you have someone like Monster and even JD, in a sense, coming out, along with, others like Just Alex and many other people that have tried to talk positively about AEW, and talk about how it delivers some great matches, week after week, show after show. Lately you've also noticed there's been a trend where they've kind of talked about some of the issues that need to be addressed. And obviously with a lot more stars, under the AEW banner coming out and, speaking out, and some former stars, speaking out of the chaoticness backstage and the frustration of, not getting enough TV time or this or that, all centering around Tony Khan taking too much responsibility onto his shoulders, and by extension, thus allowing the cracks to finally show. Yeah, it's not a good look for AEW. It's not really a good look. Now, some will give off the excuse that it's only been in existence for 3 years, and fine, I get that. People gave the same excuse for, Impact Wrestling, TNA. They said the same thing, that, hey, it's going to get better. It's still in its infancy in 2005. It's going to get better. And over time it did. Some people even said that when we got into the late 2000s, early 2010s, it was at its peak. That basically once we got past the third year of infancy and we got into its fourth year of existence, and, then onward after that, is when it really started to hit its stride. And, people look back at that time period of 2006 to about 2012 as the best run that TNA/Impact ever had. Despite, bringing in former WWE stars, Hall of Famers, legends like Hogan, Mick Foley, Eric Bischoff, you name it. People still felt that it was at, its highest, period ever. It was at its highest period ever, and there's no, replacing that. There's no replacing that. And the same could be said in many people's opinions of AEW. Yes, AEW is on a bigger platform, and they have, right off the bat, been, except for the pandemic, kind of stifling things, have been running decently sized shows in venues across the state, across the country, basically. Mostly they've been in college campuses, which a lot of people have said, is probably one of the better ideas Tony Khan has come up with, because if you're going to try to get a certain demographic of an audience to get invested in your product, then the best way to start and the best place to start is with the college campuses, like where they were last week in Houston, Texas. They were on the campus of the University of Houston Cougars. So yeah, it is a good move on their part to do that, because if you're going to go and try to grow your audience to have it stay with you for the long haul, depending on how long your company will be in existence, you want to grow. You want to start from basically the beginning. You want to start at an age or an age range and demographic that fits the mold, or fits the core of a fan that you're looking for, that you could grow the product with, and that will stand by you no matter what. But despite that being a good decision, though, like I said, a lot of folks that have worked for the company, currently work for the company, as, in-ring competitors, behind the scenes people, have all said basically the same thing, that despite what you see on television, there are still frustrations. Some have even said that there are angles that are being done for no particular reason. There's constant, repetitiveness of interviews being interrupted, and stuff like that. Some people being signed, given a push for a while, but then being regulated to things like dark elevation are not used at all. Some have even said that, pretty much, Tony Khan has been caught in lies. Like Hikaru Shida, coming out and basically saying, hey, I didn't know I was injured. That's news to me, when in fact she was in Japan working some shows. So yeah, there's a lot of cracks being shown and a lot of things, a lot of mistakes being made behind the scenes that right now, if Tony Khan doesn't fix them, in the third year of this company's existence, it's not going to be a good look for them in the long haul. It's not. I mean, with this whole Warner Bros.Discovery merger happening, and them considering strongly AEW as something they want to get behind and support, then Tony Khan's going to have to do what he can, get a team of people together to patch up, fix these cracks that are showing, so that way, David Zaslav, the new head of Warner Bros. Discovery, Kathleen Finch, the person he's put in charge of all the Turner networks, the Warner Media networks and all that, including TNT and TBS, don't have a change of heart and decide, yeah, we'll let your initial contract expire, but then, you got to find another place. You got to find another home. And you can't tell me Tony Khan does not want that to happen. He does not want that to happen because he honestly doesn't seem like the kind of guy that will be willing. Maybe I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem like he is the kind of guy that would be willing to go out and try to look for a new home or court new, landlords, landladies, if you will, various cable networks to air his product. And so if I'm Tony Khan, I try to fix whatever problems that are being talked about, showing, the cracks and everything. I try to fix those issues as quickly as possible so I don't have to worry about that. And again, everybody will say that, well, just like TNA, Impact, AEW is in its infancy. And I do agree with that. I do agree it is in its infancy. There is no getting around that. There is no getting around that. Still in its third year of existence, and there's still a lot to learn. Which is why I'm hoping once they get into that fourth year, which ironically is the last full year of the contract with the Turner Networks and Warner Bros. Discovery, Warner Media, that hopefully by that fourth year, those cracks are fixed, those frustrations are addressed, and hopefully with all that done, they'll be able to stay on the Turner Networks, on TNT, on TBS, for the foreseeable future. But again, that's going to be up to what happens behind the scenes and how that's taken care of. But yeah, if I'm Tony Khan and, at AEW, yeah, I start to get my butt in gear. I get my butt in gear right now to make sure I have a place in the Warner Media Discovery future of the Turner Networks, TNT, and TBS.